It's a building's foyer. I don't know who lives there, and I'd rather not know. I'm not leaving this place until I have as much booze coursing through my veins as blood. I better stay on the sidewalk, getting one of the many lampposts that light up the streets of New York. I could buy an umbrella and dance around this lamppost, shouting about how great it is to sing in the rain. But I could also have enough brains to realize how dumb that would be. It's all lit up in there. That's a crazy idea. Crash. The Red Tulip. This is where I do my best thinking. Where are we going? What are we doing? And all that crap that you think of when you're sitting in front of a bottle of whiskey. Vote Weston for mayor of New York, and you'll vote for freedom. Freedom. It seems like the word doesn't mean much anymore. A normal post box. Wandering through the dark alleys of the Lower East Side isn't exactly on the schedule for tonight. A simple coat rack. No, I like to wear my coat. It's an alcohol license. One of Mayor Weston's great ideas. Every joint that wants to serve booze has to display this piece of paper. Clearly it serves no purpose, except for lining the pockets of the person issuing the licenses. And it wouldn't surprise me if that person were a close friend of the mayor. Cold beer. Honestly, I prefer a whiskey. It does the trick faster. I'd say it's undoable. The joint's telephone.
New York operator here. How can I help you?
I don't need anything.
Bye.
It's a windmill, or rather a miniature replica of one. I think that the original ones are slightly bigger. It's an old poster for some dance show. It's an old poster for... It's called Marzetti's Cats. Greta's name is listed. It's a cash register. Steal money from a joint's till? That would certainly help my reputation. It's that half-wit Smiley. A huge wall of booze. If there is a heaven, this is what I think it looks like. Soft clouds, angels flying around, and a bar with every kind of booze ever made. It's not a self-service. If I want something, I have to ask Greta.
Uh-oh, here's the undaunted detective back from his dangerous mission. How many unfaithful husbands have you discovered tonight?
What do you want, Smiley?
A tough day, detective? But don't get upset. Fortune will look kindly on you sooner or later, just like it did for me today.
What the hell are you talking about?
Smiley had the chance of a lifetime. Goodbye, swindles and fake documents. We're talking about some real cash, cars, and the good life.
The recession doesn't seem to affect you, Smiley.
You do what you can. You know, guys like me are always in demand.
Since when have petty crooks been in demand?
Come on, detective. Don't let yourself be fooled by all those naysayers. I'm not as bad as they say.
Smiley, you'd sell your own mother for a couple bucks.
That might be true, detective, but don't be as naive as your old police pals. You know how the world works. I just do my job. If I can help someone in trouble with a few fake stamps and photographs, what's the harm? You aren't going to get all moral on me, telling me that my clients aren't honest people, are you? Everyone has the right to a second chance, and you should know that.
Right. Every respectable murderer should have the chance to create a new identity and commit crimes under a couple of false names.
Detective, you still think of yourself as a policeman. Too bad you were kicked out of that world. I still remember the headlines in the papers. Police scandal.
You do well to leave it off there, Smiley.
Don't get upset. We're just chatting.
Of course. Chatting. Why are you so excited tonight?
Smiley is changing his life. No more swindles and fake documents. I've been offered a great job, and I'm going to accept it.
Did you find a free reptile cage at Central Park?
Our detective is always ready with a joke.
What kind of job offer could a snake like you have received?
Oh, sorry, detective, but I can't talk about it.
What kind of dirty business are you mixed up in this time?
Sorry, detective, but we're talking about some serious stuff, and I can't talk about it with anyone, not even you. The only thing I can tell you is that at midnight, Smiley will get a telephone call from one of the most important people in the city.
Yeah, better to not know anything about your business. Goodbye, Smiley.
Bye, detective. Goodbye.
It's one of those new neon signs. I hope this is only a passing phase. I wouldn't want them to cover the whole city with this stuff someday. It's the same man in all the photographs standing next to all these different kinds of airplanes. It's still raining outside. It's the joint's radio. No, I need booze, not music. It's the joint's menu. I think I know it by heart now. It's Greta. Hi, Greta. Pour me a whiskey.
Jack, do you remember that you've had my camera for over a week now? When are you planning to return it?
I actually finished using it tonight. I'll pull out the film roll and it's all yours.
Try not to break it when you pull the roll out. The winder has been broken for years, so you have to do it manually. I suggest you find a dark place when you do it. Otherwise, you can bid farewell to your precious photographs.
Hi, Greta.
Jack, give me my camera back.
I just need to pull the film roll out and it's all yours.
Remember that the winder is broken, so you have to wind it manually. And I suggest you find a dark place when you do it. Otherwise, you can bid farewell to your precious photographs.
Yes, it's dark enough for me to be able to take the film roll out without any problems. Good. I was able to take out the film roll from that damn thing. I hope that the film roll didn't get exposed to too much light. Otherwise, goodbye pictures and goodbye money. Greta seems to be in a bad mood, and there's nothing more impossible than a woman in a bad mood. Hi, Greta.
Jack, give me my camera back.
I just need to pull the film roll out and it...
Remember, and I...
Here's the camera. Can I get my whiskey now?
Whiskey? And how are you going to pay for it? Your account has been overdue for months, Jack. And I have to pay your rent, too. So until you pay, you don't drink.
Am I wrong? Or are you in a bad mood tonight?
Terrible, I'd say.
What happened?
Look around. The joint's empty. There's not a soul except for the one customer I'd happily do without. Smiley. Anyway, I'm busy now and I don't feel like talking.
I have to find a way of getting that sleaze Smiley away from the joint. And I have to do something to make Greta more manageable. Maybe some music might calm her down. Let's see how this thing works.
Hi again, Detective. What can I do for you?
Smiley, you'd better get out of here.
I don't see why I should, Detective. Yes, they'll definitely call tomorrow.
You know what, Smiley? They say that real opportunities only come around once.
You think they might change their mind and not call?
I don't know.
Maybe I could go to them, to be on the safe side.
Well, it'd be a shame to throw away the opportunity of your lifetime because of a stupid telephone glitch, right?
Yes, maybe you're right. I better go to them. I'm sorry I have to run. I better hit the road. I have a lot of ground to cover.
Good luck, Smiley.
Thanks, Detective. Thanks.
He might be a dirty snake, but sometimes that guy is as naive as a kid. In a better mood?
Sorry, Jack, but I've had enough. The customers have all disappeared. I'm barely making it to pay my rent. And that slimeball Smiley is here every night. I hate him.
How's the joint going?
Not well.
It looks like you haven't had many customers lately.
Right. It's because of the Great Depression. That's what the papers call it. Banks have gone under, people are unemployed, and there are prostitutes and criminals around every corner of the city. I'd say that the American dream is over, and we're just starting to figure it out.
At least you still have your joint.
I barely make it to the end of the month, and the situation isn't getting any better. Last night, I even closed the joint early. There weren't any customers.
It could be worse. At least you don't spend your nights photographing 20-somethings running around with guys who could be their fathers.
Is that what you were doing tonight?
I'd rather not talk about it. Why did you pick the name Red Tulip for your joint?
My old man picked it, not me. The joint was his. He opened it after the war. He was in the Air Force. When he got discharged, he got the crazy idea of opening this joint. He was so proud to be Dutch that he decided to call it the Red Tulip, like the flower that represents his country.
What kind of guy was your old man?
He was a good man. I really miss his stories about when he was a pilot in Holland. I was born here in New York. I've never seen Holland, except in books. It must be a beautiful place.
I don't think they're doing too well either right now. How did you end up working in your old man's pub?
One day, my old man got sick and died. I had lost my job as a dancer, so working in his joint seemed like the only thing to do.
So you were a dancer?
Right. The Flying Dutch Girl. That's what they called me. I loved to dance. I was even in a tour in France for an entire year. It was one of the best times of my life, but I guess it was destined to end. With the economic crisis, no one was going to see the shows anymore. Better spend the few bucks left on booze and hookers.
Did you ever try to get back in it?
Didn't make sense anymore. Moreover, now I have to run this joint and serve whiskey to semi-alcoholic former police officers.
Delighted to be part of the story. Let's change the subject. About Smiley.
No, Jack. I don't want to talk about that guy now.
Could I get something to drink?
Your account is overdue, Jack.
Maybe you could make an exception for a fan of the Flying Dutch Girl?
It's just a pathetic attempt to flatter me, Jack.
It's worth trying. The worst that can happen is that it will make you feel better.
I doubt that it would be enough to get a drink on the house.
But I'm sure it would make you happy.
You think that sooner or later I'll give in and pour you one, right?
If I didn't know how to read people, I wouldn't be doing this job.
So you think you're good at your job?
I'm definitely not the best. I'm better than a lot of guys that hang a sign out.
Why should I offer you a drink?
Because you're not as tough as you'd like people to think. And offering a whiskey to a poor schlep like me makes you feel good in the end.
If I give you a whiskey, it's just so you'll keep your damn mouth closed. Today you're full of stupid ideas.
Well, at least I got what I wanted.
How do you want your damn whiskey?
Make it a double. No rocks. I hate watered-down whiskey. I down the first glass of whiskey in one gulp. That burn in the throat as the alcohol goes down is a thing of the past. After years of drinking, all that's left is the sweet flavor of malt. A few drinks, and my muscles start to relax. My head feels light. My vision gets cloudy. One headache later, and I'm outside the Red Tulip. Closing time, says Greta. My head is ringing like the church bells on Christmas Eve. The hammer is striking the wall of my skull like it's trying to break through. Too much whiskey, Jack. Better go home. Hello? Yeah, it's me. Well, call back tomorrow morning. I don't work at this hour. I'm not a pay-as-you-go masseuse. What? McLean? McLean's in New York? Who are you? Where did you get this information? Millville Port in Brooklyn. Follow the Lord? What the hell does follow the Lord mean? Hello? Hello? Dannazione. He hung up. McLean. It's been years since I heard his name. Why is he in New York? I don't like this, but I have to know. I'll go to the Millville Port in Brooklyn, but I better bring my gun with me. Even if I hate carrying a gun, I don't want to take a bullet for a call from who knows who. Dannazione. I can't see anything. I need to find the light switch. Here's the switch. Inside, there's a nice mix of documents and underwear. Nothing useful in there. A fold-away bed, one of the best inventions in recent times. This calendar is from a few years back. I should throw it away, but I wouldn't know what to replace it with. Documents, an ashtray, and takeaway Chinese food. Everything that you need for a good investigation. No, I have something else to do now. The only useful thing on this shelf is the New York phone book. A manual on processing jade, an essay on sleepwalking, and a treatise on the story of the Knights Templar. I must have been drunk when I bought these books. Maybe another time. A series of useless manuals on the ethics of investigation, as if there were an elegant way to take a bullet in the thigh. Maybe another time. My favorite armchair, but maybe that's because it's the only one I have. My 20 square feet of bathroom with my $16 a piece ceramic sanitary ware. Patriotic American images. They add a little something for the clients. The only suitcase I have. It's an old trunk full of clothes. A manifesto from Clito in Calabria, the city where I was born. It looks like a statue of a seagull or a pigeon. I didn't remember having this junk in my storage room. Some canned tomatoes, beans, and other grub to keep me alive. No, I'm not hungry now. Just a stack of old documents. It's not an expensive Art Deco chandelier, but this lamp gets the job done. It provides light. It's fine where it is. My homemade photography lab. I develop my own photographs. I can't let compromising materials end up with some photographer with a loose tongue. The last red light bulb I had blew up last week, and the place where I usually buy them doesn't open until tomorrow morning. A jar of lard. When I rented this apartment, this thing was already there. It's kind of broken, but I didn't pay for it. It's my gun holster. Dannazione. It's been years since I put the gun in here. I don't have any idea of what the combination is. My investigator's license. I don't need to carry it around. My Donuts. My gun. My gun. It's been a while since I used it. I don't like to carry it with me. Anyway, it's not loaded, and it's pretty useless to carry it around without any bullets. I must have some bullets in my office somewhere. I just need to remember where. No, the gun is still unloaded. I don't have any idea what... There's nothing interesting there. Documents and... Boxes, papers, and other stuff. I doubt I'll find anything useful there. Boxes, I doubt I'll find anything useful. It's an old trunk. There's nothing in there but blankets. I don't have any intention to put that greasy thing in my coat. Detergent and clothespins, the bare necessities to look presentable. I'm not going to pick up every object that I find around. My homemade photography. I developed the last. There's something under the door. I must have been too drunk to notice it when I got here. It's a letter from Slavonsky, the apartment owner.
Dear Mr. Del Nero, please remember that you are 2 months late with rent. You are asked to fulfill your duties as renter, to avoid unpleasant consequences. This is the last notice that I send. If you do not pay, I take drastic measures. Sincerely, Vladimir Alexandrovich Slavonsky.
If I had the money, I'd pay the rent. It's the third threat of eviction that this stingy Russian has sent me this month. And I think it can keep the other two company. When I rented... Here are the bullets. Let's hope they didn't rot over the years. Great. There are just 3 bullets. Better to be an optimist and see the magazine half full rather than half empty. There are just 3 bullets. Good. The gun is loaded now.